In the ancient kingdom of Mkpa, where the sun dipped into the horizon and painted the sky with hues of crimson and gold, there lived a king named Ebuka. Ebuka was a just and fair ruler, loved by his people, but he had one major flaw. He was extremely greedy. Ebuka's greed began to consume him as he started to take more and more from his people, leaving them with barely enough to survive. His advisors and elders came to visit him and tried to caution him, but Ebuka wouldn't listen. One day, a wise old man from a neighboring village came to visit King Ebuka. The old man told Ebuka that his greed will be his downfall, but Ebuka laughed it off. Ha! Me, downfall? Never! I'm the greatest King Ebuka. I'm the greatest king Mkpa has ever seen, Ebuka boasted. The old man chuckled and said, well, I've seen greater kings and they all had one thing in common. They knew how to share. Ebuka smiled. Share? Why would I want to share my wealth? It's all mine, I tell you. The old man smiled and said, well, let me tell you a joke. Why did the greedy king's chicken go to therapy? Ebuka's curiosity was aroused. I don't know. Why? The old man replied, because it had a foul temper. Ebuka groaned at the terrible pun, but the old man continued, seriously, Ebuka, your greed is like a disease. It's eating away at your kingdom and your people. You need to find a cure before it's too late. Ebuka dismissed the old man, but the joke stuck with him. He couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being foolish. As time passed, Ebuka's kingdom began to suffer. Crops began to wither, rivers began to dry, and the people grew poorer. Ebuka's advisors and elders begged him to change his ways, but he refused. One day, a young girl named Inoma decided to take matters into her hands. She gathered a group of brave and clever children from the kingdom and formed a plan to teach Ebuka a lesson. The children snuck into the palace and switched Ebuka's food with a magical fruit that would make him see the error of his ways. Ebuka ate the fruit and suddenly he was transported into the world where he saw the suffering of his people. Ebuka was shocked and ashamed of what he had done. He realized that his greed had caused so much pain and suffering. He begged for forgiveness and promised to change his ways. The children, led by Norma, forgave Ebuka and helped him become a better king. Ebuka learned to share his wealth and resources with his people, and the kingdom of Mkpa began to flourish once again. As Ebuka sat on his throne surrounded by his people, he turned to Norma and said, you know, I never did get the punchline of that joke. Why did the greedy king's chicken go to therapy? Norma smiled and said, because it had a foul temper and a greedy king. Ebuka laughed and said, I guess I deserved that.